mean,
Please don't set me on fire.
Not again.
I want to hear that story.
Well, so I'll tell you a story. She stabbed me once.
I've stabbed you a couple of times.
Stabbed him a whole.
Whoops.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife loves knives.
Welcome to Careers Over Beers. My name is Jesse Krause, the podcast host, and I think today's going to be pretty magical. You like that? Yeah, I know. That's corny. Go ahead and introduce yourself, so.
Well, my name is Bootstrap Bill, and this is my lovely assistant and wife.
Rainbow Star.
Rainbow Star and Bootstrap Bill. Nice to meet you both.
Well, nice to meet
You as well.
We're drinking Warbeard,
Yeah.
Walnut River Brewing Company.
Oh, yeah.
That's your favorite beer?
Yeah, it's my favorite beer. It's like I discovered it a long time ago.
So you're a glass man?
Yeah.
That's all right. I am too. Some people don't like to, though. I've had people on here that are like, I'm just going to stick to the can or stick to the bottle.
Well, I watched some of your past ones, and so now Cooler's Light.
Coors Light. That's right. Nothing wrong with it.
I mean,
These are big glasses. It might take two, if you don't mind, unless you only want one.
oh darn, I have to drink another beer.
And Rainbow Star, you're sipping on some Pepsi today.
Yeah. I do drink. I really do. I
Promise?
Yeah, I do. I'm a champagne drinker
Champagne?
Oh yeah, that
and a
gets,
moonshine drinker.
Well, that would have been a good one.
oh no,
Yeah.
no, stop.
Got some good head on there.
Yeah, I'm terrible at pouring beers.
Aren't you supposed to just blow on it?
That's your job.
Alrighty, well, I don't know who wants to start doing the talking, but I contacted you first, so maybe let me know how you got into this and where you began.
Okay, so I will say a long time ago, before we were married, I watched Chris Angel, and I thought he was good.
Mind freak.
Yeah. And he talked about being shy and how he used magic to break out of his shell.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is a golden opportunity to talk to girls. And then that's really how it started. And I started with Scam School was one of the first YouTubes I ever started watching.
Scam School?
Yeah, Brian Brushwood. He's a magician out of Austin. I've never met him. I've talked to him online, but that's about it.
So how old were you when you started watching Chris Angel? Was that the first magician you really got into, you said?
Yeah. It was whenever he had that show on A&E.
Yeah,
Which
I'm
was
thinking
like-
maybe like 15 years ago.
It's longer than that.
Was it longer? 20?
Yeah, because I was still in high school.
Yeah, I was probably watching reruns, but
Yeah.
because I did watch Mind Freak sometimes back in the day.
Yeah, that brings
That was
up
pretty
memories.
awesome, I thought, but
Yeah. So you started watching that, and he talked about breaking out of your shell, and
Yeah, and that's kind of took a life of its own because I figured out that I could get beers out of people and learn how to scam 20s and stuff like that. And then I was like, kind of just went from there. And then I met this troublesome person.
So it did work. You got yourself a girl out.
Yeah, I did.
not from magic.
Not for magic.
I actually am very tired of magic, and I have magician friends, so his magic really was not magical.
So magic has become a chore and a job to you now.
Yes, very
watch
much
it.
so. I really don't want to watch him do magic. If I can sneak away, I'm going to sneak away.
Are you going to sneak away if he does magic on the show?
No, I am his biggest supporter.
Yeah, I mean, if it weren't for her, I wouldn't be here.
Right. So what do you do full time then too?
So primarily I am a dancer, but I also am his assistant. So I get to sit there and roll my eyes at him and act like I don't really care, because I care. Just
Not really though.
I'm just over it.
Well, why don't you tell them about who your main, I wouldn't say idol, but that's not the right word for it.
So there's a magician group called Tom, Sony and Company, and it basically is like a male-female duo, and they've been around like since the 70s, doves and red handkerchiefs and all that good
Right.
stuff. Really amazing group. But the first time I ever saw them, she was chewing gum, blowing bubbles, she was rolling her eyes, wandering off stage, and I was like, That's my character.
That's me.
That's me.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm a little bit more bubbly than she is, and it's kind of become my own. Like I definitely, I'm a lot more peppy than she is.
Some pep in your step.
I got some pep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I get on stage, it's like, oh, I'm on stage.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
So speaking of stage, do you guys normally perform on stage? Or are you more of a street musician, or are you more of a go to your house or your party?
So with COVID is like what really killed everything.
Yeah.
We have a show that, and we're still working on it, but the show is always a work in progress. It never changes. But a friend of ours, Michael Blackheart, he had a theater right off of Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
But because of COVID, it shut down, and he just couldn't keep it open.
And it's still shut down right now?
Yeah, it's permanent. It's
permanent.
It's gone.
Oh.
Gone. Yeah,
Damn.
that's the sad part about it. It was open for 6 months, and we got to meet a ton of good people.
Mm-hmm.
Our friend Matt Johnson came to town and just wowed everybody. He was on America's Got Talent
Multiple times.
Yeah, well, he's been on
Really?
different stuff, and such a good dude. And so Matt checks in the mail.
That's unfortunate. COVID's killed a lot of stuff in the performing arts section.
It really
Yeah,
has.
it really has.
Yeah.
And he got me interested in doing cruise ships, and sitting there, it's like with the cruise ship stuff, it's just like every week it's like we're canceling this, we're canceling that, and
So you do cruise ships?
well,
You'll go on a
that's where we
cruise?
want to go.
That's where you want to go.
Yeah, we've only been doing this whole show, like stage show stuff, for about 2 years,
Yeah.
and I've been doing the busking magician stuff for about 3. And the reason I do that is because it allows me to generate funds, so that way I can actually buy props and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And also they say that 1 year in the streets was worth about 10 years in the theater.
Meaning what? In what regard?
Like your character, and then like how you're doing the moves and stuff like that, that sort of thing.
1 year in the streets is like 10 years in the theater. That's
Yeah.
what you said?
Yeah.
Huh.
And one of my idols is a Bobby Maverick, and he's the one who told me that.
And it's actually really true. I mean, I've been a performer my entire life. I've done everything from dance to acting, and I've been in a band. I was a drummer in a band, and I pretty much just do anything that comes my way.
Anything they throw at you?
Anything that sounds good. So for me, it's just he's kind of like my my work in progress.
Yes, dear.
So you do all these things. What's your ultimate goal? Like, where would you like to end up as? Which one is your favorite that you could see yourself doing forever? That's the dream job.
So the dream job is basically doing cruise ships and living that lifestyle.
Doing magic or
yeah,
doing
just doing magic is the one.
Doing magic is what you would love to just do full time.
Yeah, full time.
Yeah.
And hopefully after this COVID stuff goes away, if it ever does, I can start doing a lot more booking of shows and stuff like that.
You should create a magic trick that gets rid of COVID. Make it disappear. That would be the ultimate.
I'll wiggle my nose. Tick, tick, tick. Got it.
And so, Rainbow, what is your ultimate goal? What's your favorite part of your performance? Dancing?
I definitely prefer dancing more than I like being an assistant. It's a harder role for me to be an assistant because I'm used to being the one person on stage.
Right.
When you do burlesque, you're by yourself usually. It's completely created by you 100%, and you don't have anybody else to be accountable to. You don't have anybody else to really rely on. It's 100% you. So for me, it's challenging to be an assistant. I do like being able to roll my eyes at him and basically try to make him look silly.
Would you like to keep it a duo forever, though? Like, let's say that you found a career solely in doing magic. Would you still like to keep it a duo, or would you like to be at a point where you're both doing separate things?
No, absolutely.
I would love to be a duo always.
Always.
But I think that we're both secure enough in our performances that he can go out on the weekends when I want to sleep in.
Mm-hmm.
And
do a little solo show.
He can do a solo show,
Yeah.
and I can as well. And if I want, I can go out and improv dance. and whatever. I belly dance as well, so I can go out there and belly dance and teach some kids some moves, things like that. So it's family friendly. I can pretty much go with the flow. So if he wants me to be an assistant, I'll be.
You're just down for whatever.
Yeah.
When I told you want to come on a podcast, or when he told you, you were like, hell yeah.
Okay, sure, let's go.
Yeah.
No, she was like, hell no, I'm going. I mean, but that's kind of.
She wasn't gonna let you come alone, was she?
No. Well, I mean, especially because the magic is so important to both of us.
Mm-hmm.
So
you got interested in magic in high school,
mm-hmm.
and you knew from then on that you're gonna pursue a career in this.
No, I actually didn't. Here's the funny story about how I got to become a professional magician. So I always had magic kits and stuff like that when I was a kid, and all that stuff. Well, she had a show, and I was like, oh man, it'd be cool if I could get on stage one day, And she disappears, and all of a sudden, like, you're in the show. I'm like, huh?
Like, well, he didn't specify that he didn't mean right then and there. I thought it was, let's go.
You thought you are down for anything, aren't you?
Yeah,
you're like, hell yeah.
Let's go. Oh, we need to make up something in the middle of this because somebody disappeared. Okay, we're good. Let's go.
Yeah, and like I went straight to Steven's Magic, which is in downtown Wichita.
Uh-huh.
And they got me set up with a trick, and then I was good to go.
So they taught you a trick?
Yeah.
Right there.
People don't know this, but Steven's Magic is one of the biggest world suppliers of magic, and we have it here right down in downtown Wichita.
Downtown Wichita, Kansas. Shout out Steven's Magic.
Yeah. And Sean and Mark down there, two of my many mentors. They helped me out so much.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. I didn't know that. Lived in Wichita damn near my whole life, or close to Wichita, and I never knew that. Although I performed a little magic when I was a kid too. I think every kid gets interested in it a little bit, right?
Yeah, and that's a great way to keep kids off of drugs, because if you get them into magic, they'll never have money for anything else.
Yeah, it's an expensive hobby.
Well, it's an expensive job.
Expensive job.
Yeah, and it's like to me it's no longer a hobby. It's a lifestyle and a job.
Right. So, did you work full-time jobs throughout when you were learning how to do magic, or did you just focus on solely doing magic?
Well, I mean, I'm a part-time magician as it is right now.
Part-time magician right now.
Yeah, and so by day I'm an IT guy.
By day you're an IT guy.
Yeah, but I have it all planned out. As soon as I can get shows, I can leave my job and really pursue magic 100%.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. And you still have those IT skills too.
Yeah.
You should incorporate them.
Well,
I'm sure you seem like a magician sometimes on the phone when you're talking to people.
Oh,
do you work like a help desk type job?
No, I'm desktop support.
Desktop support?
So, and everybody at my work knows I'm a magician.
Do they?
Yeah, they do. Because they did a veterans fundraiser, and that's like one of my I want to say pet projects, but one of my things is that I would love to help veterans. And,
yeah. Right on.
So I volunteered, and everybody figured it out real quick.
And if you fix their computer problem, sometimes you can seem like a magician to people that don't know how to do it.
Or if I just walk in and like, wiggle your mouse. Oh, that works.
They're like, whoa.
That's exactly
how did you do that? Oh, I know. I've worked my fair share of IT jobs too. Sometimes you just got to walk up and stand there, and things fix themselves.
Yeah,
and they're like, how do you do
weird.
that? Yeah.
So one of the things that I've really wanted to do is get together some veterans, people who are performers that I know, and have like a show where, a good portion of the proceeds go to like the K9 Kevlar people, or,
Hell yeah.
And that way we're performing, we're having fun, and we're doing something good as well. But as a performer in Wichita, a lot of times you don't get paid.
Mm-hmm.
I've been performing my entire life. But it's tough,
So it's a tough career path to get into.
Especially living in the Midwest.
Yeah.
I will say there are a lot of really awesome performers that travel. They'll come up from Oklahoma City, from Kansas City, but everybody kind of knows everybody, to be honest with you. And yeah, it's
a lot. It's like a big small town in the Midwest, isn't it?
Yeah, it's super weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered doing Vegas shows?
I've actually been told by many other people who find out that I perform. They're like, they see the pictures. They're like, this looks like a Vegas show. Why are you in Wichita? And
Yeah.
well, this is my home, you know.
Right.
This is where I live. This is where I want to stay. It doesn't mean I can't travel. I can definitely travel.
Yeah.
But cruise ships are the ultimate goal.
For him, maybe.
Well,
that
I
would
mean-
be badass.
Well,
you're on a cruise basically the whole time, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And I mean, I am a Navy veteran too, so that kind of
Cheers to that, brother.
yeah. And you're an Air Force veteran, right?
I am an Air Force
Yeah,
veteran.
well, hey man, I want to say thank you for your service.
I appreciate it. Thank you too, man. That means a lot.
Yeah,
That's badass that you guys are gonna do stuff for the vets too. With
Oh
your
yeah,
shows.
I have. It's really interesting how things tie together. But an ex-boyfriend of mine, his cousin, is also a Navy veteran, and he ended up being, what was it, back in basic just a week or two after you.
Yeah.
Same place.
So,
Really?
yeah, it's super weird that how coincidences happen.
They do.
Yeah, he was like one division behind me, and that was back in what 2003, so a long time ago.
Yeah,
No.
and he's a performer too, and he's a comedian, so he's always out at Looney Bin doing like amateur
Shout out
night.
Looney Bin.
Yeah.
I love going to shows there. Or I
Yeah.
did before COVID, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we also have a friend that does mentalism, Curtis Minimalist.
Curtis the
Mentalist?
Mentalist.
Yeah, thank you. So
Yeah, that's his home place. So he just goes to Looney Bin like in Wichita, and I think Oklahoma City is that.
I think he hits all the loony bins.
Yeah.
Because there's several. Because I know there's one in Virginia Beach.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Well, do you have some magic you're gonna do for us today, or?
Yeah, I've got some stuff.
I know you brought some things. I don't know if you wanted to perform now or.
Oh well, I mean, I'm
Please
always
don't set me on fire.
not again. So
I want to hear that story.
well, so I'll tell you a story. She stabbed me once.
I've stabbed
So-
you a couple of times.
Stabbed him. Whole.
Whoops.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife loves knives.
I tend to perform with them. Yes.
So you guys are doing real shit. That's not
Oh,
even
yeah.
magic. You just stab
No,
him
that
and you're
was-
like, look at that's part of the show, and he's over there like, oh.
I was like, that's part of the show, folks. All part of the show. You know.
Hold
all
on, let me
part
go
of the
get my
show, I swear.
bandage out.
What do you got here?
So this is my wedding ring, and it tells me like how good of a mood she is, and
Try to keep the mic right here. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
so I mean, but so with a little bit of magic, I can get her in a better mood. If you watch, just like that, it changes.
What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
So that's all you get. That's all it takes to get her back in the better
Yeah,
mood.
that's, that and a lot of money.
I like candy and cupcakes
You
as
just
well.
turned your ring in from a, I don't even know what color that was.
Black.
Like a pewter black
Pewter black
into a gold ring.
Mm-hmm.
That's money out of thin air.
It really is.
I
And
wish. Can you go trade that in and bring me some money?
So you set her on fire doing that trick before?
No, we were just joking.
What was
No, he's never actually set me on fire. I'm usually the clumsy one.
Yeah, well, I will tell you this story. I have a bullet catch, and I was learning how to do the trick, and I set the cannon off, and I was like, okay, here we go. Well,
Cannon?
Yeah, it's a miniature cannon. It's about like that long and about that tall.
And it's a black powder cannon.
Yeah.
That shoots cannonballs.
Mm-hmm. And I screwed up, and I put too much in.
Too much what? Black powder?
Mm-hmm. And it shot me in the face. And she like, you idiot, and grabbed me by the scruff of my neck, and it made me wash my eyes out, and it was pretty bad.
The cannonball shot you in the face?
No,
Or
just the
just
black
the
powder.
powder got in your eyes and shit.
Yeah, it was bad.
Ooh.
So yeah, I'm not the smartest magician in the world, but I'm not the one of the 13 that kill themselves doing it.
So what's your favorite trick that you perform?
My favorite trick is
That's a good question.
yeah, that's a really good question. I haven't thought about that. I think it's the 3-coin trick.
Three coin trick?
Yeah, and let's see if I got that on me. There's just too much going on here. Let's see. No, I don't think I have it with me today.
Well, dang.
Yeah.
No,
Wait, is this part of the trick? Are you
No,
going to
no,
pull
it's
them
really
out? You act like you don't have them and then you pull them out from behind my head or something?
Well, it's one of those deals where I'm not used to performing just like that
On the spot? Yeah. I apologize. You don't have to do any performing on here if you don't
Let
want
me
to.
see. But I will say this is my whole show is contained in this box.
Everything that you do?
Everything that I do.
Except I'm trying to get him to do illusions. So we do have one illusion that we have.
One really big illusion.
And it's huge, and it is very difficult to move.
Oh yeah, and I've hurt myself on that.
So we're not able to do it on this show.
No.
No.
But you can disappear.
You can disappear.
Uh-huh.
Like in the trick that you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Who
Yeah.
can disappear?
Whoever.
You? Whoever?
Yeah, I'll put you in there and make you disappear.
You'll put me in there and I'll disappear.
Yeah.
And it's still a trick for me to be amused by?
Well, I don't think you'd be amused if you would disappeared.
So I will say, let's change that there. Here we go. Let's some of the illusions that we want to do. It's like they're expensive. Like they think the cheapest one for me to build it is like about $700.
Really?
Yeah.
So a lot of your tricks, like if you're doing a big trick or if you're doing like a theater show or whatever, are a lot of those tricks things that you find and buy and they've been done, or are you developing your own tricks too?
So there's a book series, and I won't give it away. But the magicians who are watching out on there, trust me, I'm not Val Valentino. The Masked Magician. That's
Yeah.
Which he does visit Wichita quite frequently.
yeah, he does. I've never met him, but anyway, I forgot where I was at.
Do you develop your own magic
Oh
tricks?
yeah. So a lot of the stuff I do is out of books, and because the books are the best places to find stuff because people don't read anymore. I mean, they really don't.
They don't. No, they do audiobooks a lot.
Yeah.
And listen to podcasts, and that's popular now, but actual reading a book?
Yeah, and just learning the techniques of like you must hold your hand just like this, and it tells you how to hold your hand, and it's like paragraphs long, but once you figure it out, it's an amazing thing.
Really? So in the world of YouTube and TV and all the other resources out there that you can find stuff, do you still find books to be the best for magic tricks?
Yeah, I really do.
Really?
I mean, there are places where I buy magic, and it's got stuff like how to do the trick, but
Because, I mean, on YouTube, there's magicians teaching tricks all the time, probably, and they give a lot of secrets away. I know some magicians, I haven't talked to a lot of magicians, but I know some of them are upset with the way tricks are given away and they're broken down on YouTube.
yeah, and the way that is broken down to me of like why you shouldn't expose magic is because you becoming a magician, you give up sugar to become sugar. So that way, you don't have the sweetness of going, being
Right.
amazed and that sort of thing. And that's, to me, it's a kind of a crime.
You think it's a crime?
Yeah.
So it
Because
upsets you to see people giving away
It really does.
secrets.
But on the other hand, that's how you get new magicians.
It is, and that's also how you create new tricks, because people are finding stuff, oh, this has never been described on YouTube. This is something somebody's never done. Versus a classic trick that you've seen magicians do in the past that's somebody probably broke down on YouTube.
Yeah. And that's honestly where I learned one of my first tricks is off of YouTube.
Is it?
Yeah, and it's kind of one of those weird catch-22s.
Right. Yeah. It's probably changed the entire landscape of magic, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has. Because there's stuff that I'm still amazed by that
Yeah.
I see, and it's like, oh wow, how'd they do that?
What's the most baffling trick you've seen where you're like, how the hell did that happen? If you can think of it. I mean, I know you've probably seen a million magic tricks, but is there anything that you've ever seen in person? I know like Chris Angel and all them, they probably use TV illusions, but in person is something, it's a different experience.
It is a different experience in person, and it was a simple trick. It was Doc Doherty when he was here. He did a bit where we all wrote down a celebrity's name, and he was able to put the name tag on the person who wrote that down.
Really?
And I was blown away by it. I had never seen anything like it.
So how the hell does he do that?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Magic.
That's like a mentalist trick, right?
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, it's a mentalism.
Do you do
trick.
mentalism at all? Or
Not really.
Is that a different breed? Is that a different type of person that can do?
It is, and it isn't. So magic has a common root, but it also sprays out in the different places.
Yeah.
So currently you have like mentalism, and then you have like bizarre magic, and then you have the classic illusions, and then you have guerrilla magic, and then you have street magic, and then it's just
Right.
and it just branches off into so many different
Street
directions.
Magic is one I used to watch quite a bit because David Blaine was super popular when I was a
Yeah,
kid.
yeah, and that dude, he's nuts.
He is. He does all those crazy stunts now where he buries himself in a thing of ice.
Illusions.
Illusions, yes.
Yeah, well, I know some of the stuff. I know how he does some of the stuff, and like he'll actually swallow frogs.
Yeah.
Like he'll go like "Ugh," he can actually regurgitate it, and like a live frog can go spit in the glass.
How big?
I
I wouldn't say that's magic. That's
not
like
that crazy.
sideshow.
Because
sideshow.
I knew a
but-
kid in grade school that swallowed a frog for a Pokemon card.
Oh no.
For real. It was just a little guy.
Oh. Well, like when he does it, it's like a full bullfrog. I mean, it's nuts. And then like he was
That's crazy.
doing stuff with like shoving a needle in his arm, and like he actually did that. He's got some weird pain tolerance. I'm like,
See, that stuff is insane. That's not even magic. He's
No.
branched into a new realm where
Well,
it's
that's
like I'm gonna push my body as hard as I can go.
and that's where like it goes into like bizarre magic and stuff like that.
Bizarre
To
magic.
me, that's more like sideshow. I mean,
Do you guys do anything like that?
you know, I've practiced with other magicians and dancers, some sideshow stuff, you know, like the bed of nails and things like that, where they put the concrete on top of you and then somebody gets this big old hammer and busts it on you. I've done that.
You've done that.
I've done that.
What did that feel like?
You know, I just was really concerned for my bones. I didn't want to be a broken old crippled lady, so I was like, you know what? I don't think this is for me.
Yeah, that makes sense. If you don't want to put yourself at risk, laying on a bed of nails and breaking concrete on yourself probably isn't the best choice.
Yeah, it's not fun. That's
Like, I don't need a broken rib. I'm good.
yeah.
like I have neck issues, so that's why I don't do that stuff.
Yeah. So you don't ever get into like pushing your body to the limits like David Blaine.
No, oh no,
No.
no.
But you have a bullet catcher. What is that? Explain what that is.
So it's the old classic illusion of you load a bullet into a cannon or a gun, and you light a fuse and you catch the bullet.
You catch it in your hand,
in my mouth.
in your mouth.
Yeah, Penn and Teller do it, and that's where I got my interest in it.
So that's not really a magic trick, is it?
Yeah, it's a magic.
That's a
trick.
magic trick.
Yeah.
That's more of like a feat, I would say. Like that's insane that you would even put yourself at risk like that because.
It's an illusion.
Okay.
So Penn and Teller.
But you're
say-
firing a gun at yourself still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There things can still go wrong. That's the thing about magic. Bad things can happen.
Because even though it's an illusion and you have a bullet catcher, and you're still at the end of the day firing a gun at your face.
Well, the way that Penn and Teller say it is, and this goes back to I don't remember how long ago, but Harry Houdini would not do anything that was any more dangerous than sitting in his own living room, and that's the way that they do their magic.
Yeah, but didn't he die by doing a magic trick?
Well, he died from a ruptured spleen, because some guy came up and punched him when he wasn't ready to take a hit.
Oh, okay. So
And
it wasn't part of a show.
No, but so it was right before a show, and he said the show must go on, and he did his show, and then he died after. If he would have canceled the show and gotten help, he would have still been alive.
Yeah, but then he wouldn't have been legendary.
That's true.
Went out like a boss.
Yeah, I mean, I want to die of old age. Not
I know, but there is something there, when you look at like Kurt Cobain or Jim Morrison, you're like, would they be the legends that they are? Maybe they might be.
more than
Yeah.
I mean, but they're 23. They were like really young people.
27 club.
27, whatever. Close enough. Very young.
Older than me.
and had a white
Well.
lighter in her pocket. Do you know about that?
No.
So
Actually, no. I have heard this legend before.
yeah, it's like it was him, Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain, and Jimi Hendrix all died with a white lighter in their pocket.
Yeah. I remember someone telling me about that in high school. Kind of freaked me out for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so here's something really funny because Jim Morrison, the ship that was a part of I want to say the Bay of Pigs, but it's there was an event that caused the Vietnam War, the Gulf of Tonkin.
Gulf of Tonkin.
Yeah,
Yes.
his dad was the captain of that ship.
Jim Morrison's.
Yeah. And
Yeah, because his dad was an admiral in the Navy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's really weird. The day that ship was decommissioned was the same day that he died.
Was the same day Jim died?
Yeah, same day Jim died. It's such a weird coincidence.
You're into some conspiracy shit now, aren't you?
Oh, a little bit.
There's conspiracies around Jim Morrison's death. They never did an autopsy on him, from what I heard.
Yeah, and apparently he was a bad singer because alive he was just always just fucked up. And
Well, he was
drunk.
more of a poet than he was a singer, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
He actually quit the Doors. I actually just watched a documentary on this. That's funny that we're talking about it.
Huh. We've done a show to.
I've had a routine, a burlesque routine that I did to Riders on the Storm.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first time I brought him into a routine.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're a big fan?
I love him. Yeah.
You love him? He was pretty sexy, wasn't he?
Well, it wasn't about that for me. It's very, very rare that I think a guy is attractive, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm sitting there going like, let's see, I don't have money. I have a small dick, and like, what is she like into me?
He has
Magic.
no. He has standards.
He has standards.
That's what it is. But yeah, standards.
And magic.
No.
Okay, so let me ask you this. When people say that magic isn't real, are you okay with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's just an illusion. It's an act, right?
yeah,
It's not real
It's
magic.
entertainment.
It's not real magic. It's entertainment.
yeah, it's for entertainment use only.
Because mentalists sometimes, there's famous ones out there, and they get offended if you say that's just a trick.
Yeah, and there's the ghost talker, and that is very offensive to me because I'm not going to mention names, but
Very famous people.
yeah, he makes a lot of money doing private parties, and oh hey, your Aunt Carol's here, and she says it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that is so wrong.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's a story about a guy that he was a magician, and he accidentally did something about with that. This guy had brought a guy on stage. Like, did you have somebody pass? And the guy said, yeah, this is my mom. And he wrote, I forget what he did, but he basically wrote, I'm okay on this chalkboard. And the guy just broke down crying.
Really?
And he said, I would never do that trick ever again because it's such a powerful.
You're breaking into people's emotions. I
Yeah.
mean, and that's the thing that people don't understand. Even if people do believe that that is real, maybe they do, maybe it is. I don't know. But if it is an act, which it most likely is, right? It's pretty broad. You can say, okay, I mean, you could pretty much take anybody in a crowd and go, somebody dear to you passed away recently. And no
Yeah.
shit. I mean,
Yeah, and
everybody knows people. People die.
And then
Is it a brother?
Is it
Is it a male?
a male? Okay. No, it's a female. I knew it.
Yeah. So the way that this guy does it, he goes like, "There's the male. It's a male brother, uncle."
Brother, uncle, grandpa,
Yeah, and
friend. You can go through all the
Yeah, they go
categories.
through all the
Like,
things,
And
and
then
they
they're like, oh my gosh, yes, it was my uncle.
it was my uncle. Was he older than you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell he looks at you like a younger, like he was a role model. And
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of stuff I hate. I absolutely hate that kind of stuff.
yeah,
Although I will say, we were at Freddy's the other day eating, and this
God.
kid comes over and he's like, "Oh, you're a magician? Do a magic trick for me." And really, it could have been, he could have got it wrong,
So
but he got it right.
so let's do this. I want you to stick out your fist for me. Like this.
both of them.
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
And then pick one. Don't tell me what it is, and just pick one.
Okay,
You got it?
I got it.
Is it this one right here?
No,
Okay, that'd be a pretty good magic trick if that had worked, right?
that would have been.
So that's a trick. Let
so
it
that's
did-
the mentalist trick right there,
Yeah.
right?
And that's
Yeah.
the trick I did for the kid. And I have a 50-50 shot of being right. I mean, I'm not bullshitting anybody on that one.
So you just did a simple trick like that.
yeah, and it
and
blew his
He
mind.
was mind blown.
And he's like, whoa. Yeah, and he's like, is magic real? I'm like, no.
Yes, yes, it is.
Do you know magicians though that like to defend that magic is real?
No, I
No?
have not met anybody who's like that.
So they all know it's just an illusion. It's just tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I was
all
wondering about
tricks
that
and-
because I don't know if that would offend a magician or not.
No.
If I was like, hey, that was a cool trick. How are you doing that? And they're all like, it's magic.
Well, I mean, that's
That is the answer.
That
Yeah,
is
it's
the
like-
answer, sure.
because like my favorite answer is like, how'd you do that? Can you keep a secret? Yeah. So can I. And then because I get that from kids
Very
all the
good.
time.
Very good. Yep. Are there any tricks that you're willing to give me though that you could show me?
You know what?
That are easy to do?
I do, and because this is like one I learned on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's breaking the law.
Yeah, I mean it's not really because it's one of those like you can find this on YouTube.
Yeah.
So go ahead and pick a card for me.
Any card.
Any card.
Right here.
Now look at it. Show the camera. I don't need to know what it is. I've already seen this trick before. All right, you got it?
I got it.
All right. Go ahead and put it on top. And then what I want you to do is I want you to cut the deck. Like that. And then complete the cut.
Complete the cut.
Yep, just like that.
I'm used to using another card at the casino.
You a big gambler?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I do enjoy it.
So I know it's not in that part of the deck. So we're not going to use that part of the deck here. So I'm not getting anything over here. Let me see your hand real quick. Make a pointing finger at me. No, I feel like I'm getting something right there. Is that your card?
That would be correct.
All right.
That is my card.
So this is like one of the basic principles of magic, and it's called the key card.
The what?
The key card principle.
Key card.
So while you were looking at the card and showing the camera, what I was doing was I was taking a pick at the bottom of the deck. So, for example, bottom of the King of Clubs. So you pick the card. Doesn't matter what it is because I don't know what that card is. So you put it back on top of the deck. And then you cut it. And so whatever's going to be next to the King of Clubs.
Oh, I got you.
And so now I'm going to make you do it since you want to
That
learn magic.
that's I see. Yeah. Okay. So, choose a card.
So pick a card. And then
Show the camera. I'm not looking. I promise.
okay.
But oh, see, I fucked up
What's that?
because I didn't do it subtly. Now I gotta like. Okay.
So that's the thing about magic is you have to practice.
You have
practice.
to. Yeah.
Because I practiced about I'm gonna say
Every day.
every day for at least an hour.
Really.
And
Just
so
like it's like a musical instrument. You
Yeah,
know, if
it
you're gonna
really
stay
is.
on top of it.
and
So
then
you cut the deck.
cut the deck,
Okay.
and then you find the key card.
Now I'm gonna lay it over, and I'm gonna go. Okay. So I don't think it's there. Don't think it's there. Was it Jack of Spades?
Yeah.
Very good.
Damn. Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Simple thing about it is people think that magic is all about sleight of hand,
Yeah.
and it's like I don't really do sleight of hand. Like I've got arthritis and stuff in my wrist, and so I really can't do the moves.
Yeah.
And so it's all about presentation.
It's all about presentation. So when you're practicing, do you normally practice with her watching you, or do you practice in a mirror? Or
So I actually record myself because
record.
that way I can record it in slow motion, so that way I can say, "Oh, I flashed here," or "This is not looking good," and so it's that sort of thing.
There's a lot of things though. Like even though you say you're not sleight of hand, you still are though, because when you're doing a trick like that on me, you're glancing and checking things out, and you can't be obvious about it.
Yeah, and it's all about. I'm not going to give away all the stuff.
Yeah,
but
you don't have to give away it all. But what's also cool though too, and I don't know, I remember watching a video on Chris Angel, or maybe it was David Blaine, and they talk about keeping the audience's eyes in a certain place.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are doing those little peeks or whatever you're doing, they don't see you doing it.
The key is to distract the audience.
That's the whole key.
Yeah, because so one of my
Hence the assistant.
and
Not all magicians are lucky enough to have a
no,
assistant.
and
I'm catching on to this.
my wife is so rare because nobody really wants to be assistant unless they're they want to be the assistant.
Yeah.
And so every girl.
And how many people want to be an assistant for a living?
Yeah.
They want to be the show.
Right. But we have got it figured out to where she's just as part of much of the show as I am. And
That's awesome. Yeah.
I just don't like to get up early, so I let him go busk on
Yeah.
his own.
Well, you're in the right career field then, because getting up early is rare in performance, right?
Yeah.
It's all
not
night.
really.
Really?
Well, I mean, it just depends on what you're doing. Like, if you're doing a kids show or something like that, you're going to need to
True.
get up early.
True.
But for me, I'm more of a nighttime performer in general. So being, when you play in a band or you're a dancer or something like that, you're usually doing it at night.
Right.
So, yeah,
And that's your realm.
That's my realm.
That's your lane right there.
But I pretty much
nightlife.
coach him. I watch everything that he does. I watch his blocking, where is he putting his hands at? How does this look? Are you speaking slow and clear? Because he loves to just be like,
Yeah,
what did you say?
I will say that English is not my first language.
Liar.
Well, don't ruin the joke.
You fooled me.
Well, my first language is the garbage coming out of my mouth. So yeah, I mumble and stumble over myself all the time.
Yeah.
And
I think that's pretty normal for performers. They get nervous or they just kind of rush through things.
Right.
And the longer that you've been a performer, the slower you go.
yeah, and I will say that I need to make my street show longer, but my show is designed to be like 5 minutes, so that way I can cycle through people. And so like you
On the street.
Yeah. So because there's a constant turnover, because I usually busk at the Old Town Farm and Art Market. Shout out. And that's where we met.
That's where people can normally find you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where we met. That's where I found you.
And I don't know if did you see the whole show?
I didn't actually.
You
I was focused on handing out my cards the whole time.
So maybe next time let them out. You just video.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be back again. That place is really cool. That was the first time I've ever been down there.
And you can also see my show on YouTube. Just search Bill Fry on YouTube.
Bill Fry on YouTube.
It's like a Bootstrap Bill Fry at Wichita Farm and Art Market. That's
okay. So you do a whole channel on magic shows?
Yeah. So I post those so that way I can get that out there and get in front of other magicians so that way they can critique me and
that's another thing. Video in general as a performer is like that's how I've always done my stuff. So when I choreograph a routine or something like that, I will spend months finding music. When I find the music, then sometimes a costume will pop in my head. And the costume he's wearing today, I made that costume.
Did you really?
And I have actually a matching dress, but I'm a little too self-conscious to wear that dress today. So
yeah, and it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, the day before the show.
And I was sewing.
Yeah.
You were sewing together the costume for the next day?
Both of our costumes that
Really?
we wore that night. Yeah, so we do have a matching set with this particular costume. But when you are a dancer, so not only do you have to learn the moves, but you also have to find your music. You have to choreograph everything, which if you're not good at that can be difficult. So what I do is I always record segments. So I'll have like some ideas for some dance moves and I'll kind of piece them together, record, and then always go back and look.
Yeah.
And same thing when I was in a band, I'd record it and listen to it and see how I thought it was. So
what part of the band were you?
I was the drummer.
You were the drummer?
Yeah.
Really? Well, cheers to that. I was a drummer.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I am not a big fan of her being a drummer.
Welcome to my world about
I
magic.
cut that shit out.
Yeah, well, we live in a I don't want to say it's a gigantic house, but it's a decent sized house, and it's like she's playing drums, like I'm going to get the hell out of here. But then I feel bad because the dogs are sitting there going like, when's it going to end?
Yeah, so I never
it's
get
gotta
to
be loud for them.
practice. It's really sad.
I'm a drummer at heart. That's my instrument.
Yeah.
Percussion is my instrument. I tried guitar and I suck at it. So
Yeah, guitar's not my thing either.
yeah, I don't know. I
But-
respect the people that can.
Yeah.
I want to do it.
Yeah,
You know?
that's not my thing either. Although sometimes I want to try.
Yeah.
But I've always kind of thought about, okay, how can I incorporate drums in his magic routine? Can I incorporate drums in like a dance routine? Yeah, you can.
I think you can incorporate drums in most things.
Yeah, you pretty much
A
can.
lot of things are better with drums. Honestly.
Yes, but you also have to realize how obnoxious people think drums are.
I think people are obnoxious.
I do too.
So you're a dancer.
Mm-hmm.
Get back to that real quick. What's your main act? Like, what kind of dancing are you doing? Are you with a group?
No,
you
so
solo?
I pretty much do everything solo. I do both burlesque and belly dance. Those are my two specialties.
Can you describe burlesque because I'm not real familiar with it?
So you take your clothes off.
Okay.
It's not stripping, but it's very similar. It's a lot more of something that's been around since like the 1920s. So we used to have really big time famous burlesque performances at the Orpheum in Wichita, Kansas, long ago. So Wichita is definitely known
The good old days.
for, yes,
Yeah.
burlesque. So it's the art of the tease. So you get down to where you may get ready to take off your bra and then you leave. Or you can go ahead and show your pasties if you want. It's entirely up to you. And so the audience is sitting there through this entire song while you're taking off tons of clothes.
That sounds a little torturous to me.
It is. That's the whole point.
That's kind of mean. Because if I was in a show, if you're gonna be like, I'm gonna take my bra off, and then you walk off and that's it, I'd be like, this is bullshit.
Well, I will say that, many a times generally we all go down to pasties and a G-string most of the time.
So what's the difference between stripping and that? And do you get mad if people call you a stripper?
They just don't know. They just don't really know. I'll
They
just
don't get
say
it.
that. They don't really get it. It's really an art.
It's more of an art.
It really is more of an art because a lot of times, whatever mental thing I'm going through, I'm creating a routine about it. So I had a routine where I had this blow-up doll. His name was Hector, and I drug him out on stage, and I took off all my clothes and got down to pasties, and then I pulled out a knife and stabbed him to death.
Damn.
And then I drug him off the stage. So, people were waiting for the pasty thing. They got it.
They got it. It was just a knife and a dude.
Yeah.
A blow-up dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty dark.
Yeah.
So you're into the dark arts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I prefer to go. But,
So there were dudes there that were there to see you get down to the pasties, as you would say.
Mm-hmm.
And instead you stabbed a dude.
Yes.
Yikes.
I've done multiple routines where, I've even had guy friends come up where I kind of go up there and I'm like a succubus and I'm trying to seduce them, and then I basically attack them on the stage. And people don't expect that for burlesque because they expect cutesy. Like, I take off my clothes.
So is there
pasties.
something behind all of this that's hiding inside of you, like a Jack the Ripper type?
Yes.
Men must die.
Actually, yes. When I met him, my husband here, I was planning on just kind of being a man eater, but it didn't work out.
No.
No, I mean, so
He disappeared.
well, no, she's the one who kissed me, and then that was like the start of our relationship. And
Were you at one of these shows where she was stabbing a
No.
doll?
No,
No.
actually, he had no interest in burlesque performers. He thought every single one of them had daddy issues, and he didn't want anything to do with it.
He might have been right.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, well, all the ones I know have daddy issues.
Well, I mean, I'm sure people probably think that about me stabbing men, but
I think there's something there.
there could be.
I think you hate men. Maybe.
No. I don't hate men, but it's kind of the point that if you think about it, so burlesque is really.
Hold on a second. I just thought of something. Earlier in the show, you said you stabbed him.
Oh yeah.
That was an accident.
Right.
So we have poison ivy in our backyard, and I'm highly allergic to it. Like, I will, if it gets anywhere near me, I'll break out in the face, and it's bad.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh God, I got into it. Honey, cut my shoelaces off because it was all over my shoes.
And I basically okay.
Right through the foot.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
through the-
whoops. Thought you were a doll.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so don't feel sorry for him because I've actually used knives on stage and cut myself before as well.
Damn.
It happens.
Damn.
He's just
So
being
knife
a
through the
weenie.
foot.
Yeah, not through the foot. Yeah, that did not.
Then he yelled at me and he was like, "Never mind."
Never mind. I'll deal with the poison ivy.
Like,
So back to burlesque.
But so burlesque is really kind of a women's empowerment type of thing. All different body shapes, sizes. You could be really thin, you could be really heavy. It's up to you. You can take off what you want, you can leave on what you want.
Mm-hmm.
People don't really know what they're going to get. It's really about the art of putting the routine together and what do you want to express. It's a story. So burlesque really started out kind of making fun of the rich.
Is that right?
That's really what it was for.
yeah, because it was started out in like the 1920s, right? Like the 1929 crash, I think.
I think that it's been kind of off and on. There's resurgences of it, but yeah, back then.
When the Great Depression started, they were like, "Screw these rich guys."
Yeah.
Like Tempest Storm and even Betty Page has done burlesque in her past as
Really?
well. She's probably one of the more well-known average, like,
What about Betty White?
Anyway, now that would be
She
really
might.
interesting. She could totally do
If
it.
she did, it was probably before cameras.
Oh man,
I'm sure.
she could totally do it.
Yeah, she's still alive and going, isn't she?
Yeah.
She is. She should get back into it.
Yeah, she should.
I would watch it.
Heck yeah.
I'm gonna have to Google burlesque now because I've never
Yeah, it's
for research purposes.
It's a fine art.
yeah.
It really is. But I mean, most people do go to be like, oh yay, pasties, woohoo. I get really bored with that as a performer. When you see girl after girl go on stage and that's what they're doing. And it's not all girls. I have performed with many guys. In fact, one of my best friends, her husband does burlesque as well. And it is the cutest thing ever. He dressed up as a clown and it was just amazing. And so my goal is one day to get him to do burlesque as well.
You?
yeah. She wants me to do it.
What do you think about that?
I mean,
Let's do it.
so the deal is I get 2 tattoos paid by her right here, so that way I can
2 tattoos paid by her right here for the burlesque.
yeah
or
for the burlesque.
He feels like he has to be more tattooed to take his clothes off.
What are the tattoos, if you don't mind me asking?
So they're not the nautical stars, the typical. The one's green, one's red, so that way, because I've done something dangerous, that means gangway. That's an old Navy thing.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
I think he just wants to look like Shifty from Crazy Town.
Yeah, don't.
I'm showing my age there.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what that is.
Oh,
Showing
wow.
my age.
Okay, yeah, yeah, because we're, when we're not dressed up like this, we're just goth kids, really.
You're goth kids.
Yeah. And then
Right on.
Not like the South Park kind.
Aw, they're cute.
So you think I could do burlesque?
Yes.
Okay.
Really, anybody can. It's really all about what you want to do. So when I first started doing it, I was really hesitant because I came from a pretty Christian background, and it was like really frowned upon. And my mom didn't even like belly dance. She thought it was for whores. And it's a folk dance. It's not anything like what they sexualize it as on the television.
Right.
So when I said I was going to do burlesque, she was really like, "Oh, you're a hoe, and if you wear glitter, you're a whore." And that's not the case at all. It's really just a bunch of people who get together who love to dance, who love to express what they're feeling or thinking in a dance. And the great thing about it is you can take off as much as you want within the legal limit. And there are laws, so you do.
Are there?
Yes. Yeah. So if you were to wear a thong or a G-string, it usually has to cover about an inch of the crack area. And you do have to have pasties on. You can't just be out there nipples. Guy or girl, doesn't matter.
You can't show your nipples if you're a guy?
You cannot.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's more strict than the beach.
That may be true, but that's burlesque. It's art.
Interesting, yeah.
It's not what people think it is. So, there have been PG burlesque routines as well. So when I first started, I really didn't go down to anything but a bra.
Mm-hmm.
And so people would always be really disappointed, and I'd just be like, "Ha ha. Sorry for your luck." It's not about. It's the art of the tease. So if you know anything, you see Dita Von Teese. She's the big one. It's been around in this generation more than anybody else. But they have big festivals in Kansas City and Oklahoma. They actually even had a bar in Oklahoma City that was just a burlesque bar.
Really? Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming, even though the historic Orpheum Theater, which for people that don't know is a beautiful theater downtown Wichita, historic. I don't know when it was built. 20s?
Long time.
Yeah, I think back in the 20s, because it's I think it's Art Deco, and that's what the Warren does. That's why it's Art Deco, is to try to match.
Yeah.
The
So
Orpheum.
I've been to shows in there. It looks like Ford's Theater almost when you're inside of there, where Lincoln was shot. And they did burlesque back then, and I'm sure they don't have shows like that anymore. Do they?
Not at the Orpheum.
Not at the Orpheum. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the Orpheum's not real keen on.
You got to
on
go to
people.
more underground places for.
You do, and now I have performed at the Cotillion before, so I have done that there. And we would just do a lot of different bars when I was part of a troupe. Now I'm just kind of freelance, so when a show comes around, if it's at Cowtown, we go to Cowtown. If it's at a bar, you go to the bar.
Cowtown's cool because that's like historic Delano type stuff where they had the brothels and all of that.
So Wichita is definitely has a rich history in that type of thing, and there's a lot to say about it, to be honest with you, and people just think it's just nasty, gross stuff. It's not. It really just depends on what are you choosing to see.
Right. And that's real cowboy shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because, Wichita and Delano was divided by the river, and Delano was where you went for the gunfights and the prostitutes, and Wichita was like the more sophisticated, proper town. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
Do you know about the Dove Run?
Dove Run.
Yeah.
No.
So every Sunday, they'd have a Dove Run, and it was the prostitutes would have a race to go down to the Arkansas River and back into Delano.
Is that right?
Yeah, they call it the Dove Run.
Really?
Yeah.
What a time to be alive, man.
It's such a weird time in history.
Because
magicians were still around, but they were like snake oil salesmen.
Yeah.
And swindlers and stuff like that.
So do you think being a magician is becoming a harder career path to go down in modern times? Was there a sweet spot in history where a magician was the best, or is it getting better today still?
So it is as hard as ever. It really is.
Yeah, but I think, though, people want entertainment. They want to enjoy a good night out with their friends.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to have to think about it. So in that sense, magic is amazing. And people, a lot of times, they don't know a lot about magic. If you're not at home every day with somebody who's practicing,
right,
you're like, oh, that's really neat. Or when you were a kid, in the 80s, you talk about like David Blaine and stuff like that. These massive,
like David Copperfield more.
Or David Copperfield.
David Copperfield. Yeah, I know him too.
David Copperfield in the 80s. Yeah, that stuff was amazing.
Oh yeah.
But I think I was kind of jaded on magic pretty early on in life. Went to eat at the Holiday Inn downtown when it was the Holiday Inn, not 250 Douglas Place. And there was a restaurant at the top, and I was a very small girl, maybe first grade, and this guy kept pulling quarters out from behind my ear. And the first time I was like, yeah, that's cool. Second time, like, okay. Third time, like, okay, I get it. Go away.
Yeah.
And so I'm still that person, but I do love magic. It's just hard to fool me, and it's hard to impress me. And so when somebody comes to ask, which cup is the ball under, I'm like, if I pick this cup, you're going to say no. If I pick that cup, you're going to say no.
Well, you're a little desensitized to it with the world that you're in every day, right? But one thing that's cool about magic, and I saw this when I was at the farmer's market where I saw you, is that people always stop and at least watch it. If somebody's doing a magic trick, everybody's like, it's almost like a dog toy with a dog, because I don't know anybody that's just like, maybe some people are like that, but most people I feel like I'm going to see what this guy's about, and they want to figure it out, and they want to learn how you're doing that. And
yeah, and I will say that I've had my fair share of hecklers.
Yeah.
And I hate hecklers with a passion.
Yeah.
I had one guy that was so aggressive, I stopped the show like, hey man, this is how I make my living. This is how I put food on the table. I don't come to your job and knock the fries out of your hand
right
while you're working.
Yeah.
And like the whole crowd turned on him, and he was like, and he took off.
Yeah.
He was done.
Big funny man.
Mm-hmm.
Was he trying to just call you out on the tricks, or
yeah,
what?
he was trying to call me out on the tricks.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, no, how that's done.
Well, good for you.
You don't have to say it.
The 5-8-year-old kids that are amazed right now in the front row.
Yeah.
Don't
Don't
ruin it
think
for
you're
'em.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't think you're cool, man.
Yeah, you figured it out. Yeah, good for you, man.
Yeah, and usually it's like, well, how would you do it? And they can never reconstruct it. It's always just like,
Right.
Yeah. One time I took him over to my grandparents' house, and their neighbor came over, and he's like, I can do magic too. And I don't even know what he was doing. I was just like, that's not magic. He was just being like,
Isn't that weird how people like to call people out on shit like that they're not good at?
yeah.
And they think that it's, you spend an hour a day, you said, working on magic tricks. How many people spend an hour a day on anything other than watching TV or whatever?
There's not a whole lot.
And so to trash on somebody's passion and career, that's just insane.
Well, and then it's to interrupt somebody's income stream.
Yeah,
that's like
exactly.
the worst thing in the world you could do.
Right.
So, and maybe I should do a PSA.
Maybe so.
PSA, like, don't screw with the magicians. That's how they make their money.
What's the hardest part about being a magician?
Making money. I mean, that's really the hardest part. Because I will say the first time I went out, I made $10. And I spent all day doing it.
What were you doing? Street magic?
Just doing street magic like you saw before.
Yeah.
Like I went to Nafsinger Park. Jesus.
You got 10 cents.
Yeah, that sucks so bad.
Fight in the wind and
Yeah.
just rough crowds. And you would think, people waiting to get into eat, that they would be like, great, I have some entertainment. I'm not going to be bored. No.
Yeah, and it was like this family, and the husband like didn't want anything to do with me, and the kids were like, Dad, 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 and then I had
The kids wanted to watch it.
Yeah, kids wanted to watch it, and they threw a dime in my pouch after I was done. I'm sitting there going like, oh, that sucks.
That's crazy. If a kid is enamored by something and they want to watch it, why would you? I just don't get that. Why would you want to pull them away? Let them watch the show, enjoy it.
Well, it's like you don't have to be a parent for 5 minutes.
Right.
I mean, that's really what it boils down to. I mean, I hate to sound like crass about it, but
I think magicians are rare, to be quite honest with you. Not for me, because I'm around a lot of magicians.
Magicians are very rare.
But they are rare, and you don't see magic everywhere you go. So when I do understand the concept of, wow, hey, somebody's going to do magic. They have magicians here. Oh, wow.
Well, even if I'm like a family barbecue and somebody does a magic trick, maybe I'm just weird, but I feel like most people are like, I want to see how he's doing this, or I want to see what he's doing,
Yeah.
It's something that
you like to be like surprised and awe, like, oh, wow, what is this?
Exactly. Even if you're trying to figure them out, that's kind of fun.
Right.
And I will say there are tons of magicians in Wichita. There's a wizard's ring, which is basically what the old folks go to, like the old timers.
Oh, really?
The guys who don't really practice magic anymore. And that's where their little social club is. And we used to have a ring here when Black Hearts was open. And it's kind of a weird thing. I've had magicians come up to me and like, you're a working magician?
Yeah.
Like that's super rare. I'm sitting there just going like,
there's a lot of closet magicians.
yeah.
There really is.
And like magicians like me, I'm super rare. Think about how many nuns you've seen in like the last 10 years.
You're talking to the wrong guy. I live in a Catholic small town.
Oh, I didn't know. Well, like, bad example.
For a normal person.
For a normal person.
Yeah.
You know how rare nuns are.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're getting rarer probably by the decade.
Yeah, and street magicians are even rarer than that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a tough job. You have to also remember, in Kansas, it's windy. So, you have your setup. If you got cards or anything like that, it's blowing away.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's going more than 15 miles an hour, I don't go out. I just don't.
You always have a deck of cards on you?
Always.
That's like, it's more important than your cell phone.
Yeah, it is for me. And then I've got I didn't bring it here, but I have a nice little deck case that protects everything. So that way I'm ready to go. Because the thing about a deck of cards is there are more card tricks than there are actual any other tricks in the world.
Yeah, because, what's that? The one statistic where it's the deck of cards, each time you shuffle, it's like you're pretty likely to do a brand new sequence of cards that's never been done ever.
Yeah, they say it's there are more organization of cards than there are stars.
Yeah.
And
crazy.
It's super crazy. And I know guys that they just need a deck of cards and that's our whole show.
That's their whole show. Yeah. Well, David Blaine, growing up watching him, he was mainly a card guy.
Yeah.
He did other stuff, obviously, and he did his crazy stunts, but his street magic is a lot of just card tricks.
Yeah, this is 90% card tricks.
Yeah.
And to me, this is one of the most magical things in the world.
It's amazing.
And I am a terrible card magician.
You are?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm awful.
You're better at other different types of tricks?
Yeah, I'm better
I honestly think 3-coin trick is his number one trick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Were you going to do that for us real quick?
I kind of forgot where I was at on that. Okay. So this is called the 3-coin trick. Do you know why it's called the 3-coin trick?
I'm going to guess because there's 3 coins.
Exactly. You must have gone to college, sir.
I didn't make it through.
You literally went to the...
But I did go to college.
So this coin goes in my pocket. Now, how many coins do you watch me put in his hand?
I thought 2.
Right, but it's a 3-coin trick, right?
Yeah.
And 3 coins.
Oh.
How many coins?
2.
How many coins?
2.
2 coins go in the sand. This coin goes into my pocket. No funny stuff. Now, how many coins do you watch me put in this hand?
I watched you put 2 in that hand.
Right, but there's a 3-coin trick, right?
It's a 3-coin trick.
So there are 3 coins.
Okay.
So 2 coins
Yeah.
go in this hand. This coin goes into my pocket with all the other coins.
Yeah.
Now, how many coins do you watch me put in this hand?
Pretty sure it was 2, but I'm going to say there's 3 coins in that hand.
Right, but if you're going to be like that, I'm not going to do the trick.
So that's expected.
Yes, it is.
You were expecting me to go, there's 3 coins in that hand.
Exactly.
That would have thrown you off. I would have been like, there's no coins in that fucking hand.
No. I have a contingency for every problem.
Every single problem?
Every
If
problem.
someone throws at you? See, that's impressive. I like that.
Yeah.
That is a good trick.
And that's
right
the one thing about being a magician. You have to think about every possible problem.
there. Yeah.
So I will say one of our acts, I had an out just in case something went wrong. And she ruined the trick. And everything went flying all over the floor.
Oh, yeah. Whoops. I told you I'm the clumsy one.
And then I turned and said, "Great, now we're not going to get paid tonight, lady." And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm like, I started picking everything. Go get. And now that's part of the act.
Really?
Yeah. It's part of the act.
So you incorporated that in there just to, okay.
Yeah, and
That's clever.
Because
I like
I'm
that.
klutzy, I thought I was being helpful. Usually being helpful gets me in trouble. So I was like, oh, I'll pick up his stuff for him. No problem. That way he'll be ready to go.
And then clunk, clunk,
Why not
clunk, clunk.
incorporate the
Everything
klutziness?
fell out.
Yeah, it was.
And so everybody knew how the trick was done. And I was just like, I am so sorry. And everybody's like, I had no idea that was not part of the show. And I'm like, yeah, well, it is now, I guess.
Well, it is now. That's a beautiful thing. I
Yeah,
like
and
that.
it's such a weird thing where like accidents like that, they just work.
It is turning it. Yeah, I mean, same in music. If you look at music, some of the best songs ever have been by accident sometimes, or parts of them at least, you know. We've been going for like an hour now, guys, so I'm going to start wrapping this up. Do you have
Okay.
some advice for anybody that wants to do what you guys do? Or
The first thing is read books. That is where all the good stuff is.
all of it's in books?
All of it's in books, but if you're in the Wichita area, I would go to Stevens Magic, and hopefully that check is in the mail, Mark.
And if you're a young aspiring magician that's just somewhere random in the world, what's your advice to them?
My advice is to really just buy. Let's see. Trying to think of a book that's not going to. It's a mainstream book that's not going to give everything away.
So you're real big on books.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
real big on
books. Are
books.
the biggest thing.
Yeah, I would say probably a complete course in magic is where you want to start. That's where everybody starts, and that's where I started. Really, I mean, once after I got off YouTube, I started reading books.
You started reading books. And for performing and dancing, what's your advice?
Don't be afraid to just be weird and goofy. Enjoy yourself. If you're nervous, look at the wall. Don't look at people. Go take a dance class. You know, there's so many different things that you can do. There's people who are out performing, all the time. Ask them how they got into it. I think that dance is probably one of the most wonderful things that you could possibly do. It just makes you feel a lot more confident. It makes you happy, and it's good for you. So
It's a good form of exercise too,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Right on, guys. This was amazing. I mean, as rare as it is to find a magician, I'm glad I found one, and pretty early on in the podcast, so that's awesome. And if you guys ever want to come back on, let me know.
Oh yeah,
I know you
definitely.
have a lot more things that you guys do, a lot more shows that you guys do, and I hope it works out for you guys. I hope you're on a cruise ship someday,
Yeah,
and you
hopefully.
see me.
Alrighty. So if you guys want to find us, you can find us on Facebook. It's Bootstrap Bill and Rainbow Star, and that's mainly we do everything on Facebook. We're not really big into Twitter or anything like that, but and also you can find my street shows on YouTube. Just search Bill Fry, Bootstrap Bill Fry, Wichita Farm and Art Market,
we're live.
or live.
Yeah, at the Farm and Art Market. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Actually, at the Farm and Art
Yeah.
Market.
This will all be in the description too on my
Okay.
YouTube video, so they'll be able to click on that. So
Yeah.
anywhere else? No Twitter, no Instagram.
Not really. It's just I'm on that cusp of being a boomer, and so I don't use technology like I
Okay,
should.
boomer. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. This was a blast.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, man.
interesting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.